Hello everyone, my name is Uthris and welcome back to Transport Fever. We are looking over the last farm that we kind of set up here, and I went ahead and put in a lot of trees. So Transport Fever kind of has this bad thing of just not having enough forests and shrubs and greenery kind of around the maps. And, you know, with the goal of this series being very much a detail-oriented kind of build mindset, I went ahead and put in all of these kind of trees around the borders of the large field areas, kind of where we could, right? Because that just kind of makes it look a little bit more like farmland. There's some forester elements going along here as well. We might end up going up into some of the mountains with it. This is kind of time-consuming stuff, though. So hopefully we'll get this kind of level of detail throughout a lot of the map, at least by production areas and at least by towns. You know, I'm fine with having some plains here and there, but really this is the kind of the final look that I want to have in a lot of areas. It just looks so much more finished. The loading bay with the shrubs and looking down the tracks, it feels much more like a classic kind of diorama feel. You also notice that, say, like over here by the fertilizer plant has some greenery as well now. It goes along the river, gets a little bit dense along the entrance to this bridge, which is just stunning to have this overview and looking down from this railway into this tunnel where vehicles are going. So things are definitely getting there for us. And since we have unlimited money, we can do this all we like. So that is definitely the reason we are doing it that way in this series. There's one thing that's kind of bugging me, and it's simply this road was not bending in a smooth fashion. There we go. Hurtfield. This is the, I guess, Rygate large town that we've been laying out the past few episodes. It's getting some more homes. The town is finally kind of getting divided out a little bit more, right, with some residential and commercial areas. We're not going to be able to service a lot of the town with a lot of freight. Freight is mainly on this side, and we have more homes on the opposite side, but that's kind of normal, kind of dependent on your stations here and how they're set up. But as this gets bigger, we might have to start shipping goods to other districts. Other than that, last episode, we just simply got our first kind of food production going over here at the food processing plant. So we're gonna just go ahead and start shipping food from here initially to this town. Let me turn on all of our kind of symbols here. I guess I can turn off income. I don't really care about it too much now, do I? So we're gonna transport by vehicle down to Shildon, and that will provide food for the area. As you see, we only have that one passenger line currently, and I want to expand that kind of as soon as possible. So first things first, gotta find the biggest area of commercial, which is kind of this city block here, right down from the bridge and the other side, which the town looks to be expanding across the river, which is pretty cool. Can't wait till that view is finished. Let's go ahead and set up, though, a little bit of a freight truck station just down here in one of the city squares and blocks, and we will see about getting some goods shipped over here. So hopefully, look at this street is definitely, it's an interesting connection that they decided to do on that. All right, let us, where's my garage? I think the garage is really over here by the depot. So we're gonna buy some road vehicles, and we're gonna pretty much get anything that can carry that wonderful, wonderful food, which is probably gonna be the Oval Blitz. I don't know if the Studebaker can. The Studebaker can. I'm trying to get a good variety of vehicles this playthrough as well. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we'll just have 5 food trucks service this, right? Because it's a short distance, relatively short speaking, and hopefully that will just supply food, and then we'll make probably 10 or so more trucks to go all the way out to the depot so we can get it into a train and going to other areas of the map. That's a good strategy to have, I believe. Let's make a new line, and this is the Shildon Bread Market. All right, and we're gonna pick it up there and we're gonna take it into town, just like that. All right, so close that. Set line all, you're gonna go all to the Shildon Bread Market now. Off you go. And we're not probably producing any bread yet because we haven't yet shipped any. So it might take a second for that to kick in. And then let's go ahead and make the Shildon Bread Transfer line. And that's gonna be picking it up from the food processing plant and bringing it down. Now, currently, if you take a look at this, right, this is kind of why I set this up like this. We have the left side being used here, and it's mainly being used to pick up stuff. So this side is going to be our drop-off. Okay, so we're going to have a drop-off depot and a pickup depot. I want to try and spread out the vehicles a little bit better on this playthrough, and having some go to the right, some go to the left, I think is a good way to do that. I could be wrong, but we'll find out in the long run. So that is set up. Let's go ahead and buy some more of these Studebakers. And we're gonna go ahead and equip it out for bread. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Set line all to the Shildon Bread Transfer. Cool. So we're going to be transferring bread to this area now. And this long-term plan would probably be currently, you know, we'll never know how it's going to go in the long run. But the best thing would be get a bread train to pick it up from the depot, take some over to Reigate just immediately, and then drop the remainder off here at this transfer so vehicles can take it over to Hertford. I think that would be a decent little line to do next. And let's go over to our large depot, which we might try and pretty up at some point. So we're gonna buy a train. What is this? Diesel hydraulic locomotive. We might try and find a happy medium here. I do like this diesel electric locomotive, the NO Hab AA16. I want the Flying Scotsman, but that's a passenger line. Can't really use that. And then we just get older and older and older. So let us tell you what. Let's go ahead and just use the Class A4. I don't know if we've used too many of them yet. And let's find a goods wagon. Probably going to be a box car. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll just shoot this out until, you know, the standard 160-ish meter length. All right. Okay, so the new line is going to be the Shildon Bread Company. All right. And it's gonna pick it up from this freight yard, go straight over to Reigate Branch, and right on to Hertford Transfer. All right, so Hertford Transfer, that's kind of where we're just gonna unload only, right? Just dump it all off, any remainders. Reigate kind of drop off as much as we can because the game's gonna try and balance how much you give to each place. So Reigate will probably get a good bulk of it, and then the remainder will go to Hertford for the transfer, and then we'll set up a kind of vehicle line. I probably want 2 of these. No way to clone you guys? Yes. So we're gonna get 2 of those. And now I need to actually connect this up, because so far this thing hasn't had a, this is probably gonna go along the river. Kind of like that for a little bit, like it's a road, access road going out. I think that'll look good. And then now we just need the large road here. That'll connect right up to that country road. And let's go ahead and get our vehicle depot. All right, we got that. We're gonna buy and get a depot in Hertford as well. So let's see where the commercials are. Roughly in the center, which is pretty good for sure. Let's get a loading station for it. Kind of just centralized off of one side there. Okay, new line. This one's gonna be the Hertford bread delivery service. All right, so we're gonna pick it up and take it over. Just like that. We're gonna buy our road vehicles now, the Studebaker. Pump that full of bread, and we'll do probably 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set line all. Bread delivery, good. Set line all. Children Bread Company, great. I think I need to set a few signals here. I say a few as I just place basically all of them. Alright, so we got some signals going across. Hopefully that allows this train to kind of merge into traffic a little bit easier. And I kind of want to keep the red boxcar and blue engine look. Very good look, to be honest. So they're going to deliver a whole bunch of bread for us. Hopefully. And this is our, I think, grain? No, this is fertilizer. Coming along here. Nice. I'm excited that we're getting a lot of movement. It's a little bit slow at times to build it up, but I think we're doing it a much better job this time around, which is very good to see. And that's the whole bread line. Let's see if the depot is making bread. It is. That's good. Probably not enough, but we'll get better. These guys probably need a lot more grain. It could take a little bit for production to kick off here, because right now you can see the grain silo really producing 16 grain, which is not good. But demand has been low, right? Because we haven't fully finished the thing until now. Is that the second train? It is. Good. So that'll hopefully help space this out a bit. I don't know what he's really waiting for. Okay, there he goes. There he goes. Now that one's waiting down there, and as soon as he switches tracks, it should let him through. Yep, just like that. Okay, it'll all get kind of straightened out and a little bit more streamlined at some point. We'll see how that goes. I could add a turnaround into the station here, which I might do, because I definitely prefer that my trains don't just magically flip around. It kills my immersion, guys. So I might have to do that little peel off there, because it's gonna come up, get over to this final track, turn around, and off it goes. So we'll go ahead and account for that. Kind of like that. Good. Good. Now let's go ahead and add the Hertford Bread Company, and we'll just add the that other waypoint onto here. There we go. And you can see this was a good suggestion from last episode. Just add a waypoint onto one of these signals, and you'll get this effect. And hopefully that'll keep this from getting too tied up. Hopefully. And what I might have to do is switch this terminal to 1. That way, we can have one parked here dropping cargo off, and then one leaving. Right? You don't want to tie up both directions from one train. Okay, hopefully that works. You gotta just never know until it happens. Like, this guy should hug the inside and stay on the inside the whole way. Yep. Yep. Good. Good. Oh man, these trains going across bridges and trains for days. A little bit of a movement over here. So we technically have our first full route set up. And now I get to spend a little bit of time trying to decide on what else to do here first. Now I could just focus on these 3 towns quite heavily. We have a log kind of forest production and a sawmill just nearby there. So that could be good. And then take these planks straight down to this machine factory. You know, two planks for 1 tool. That could be good. Do we have a second machine factory? I don't think so. I think we have basically just one resource of just everything. Huh. A landfill. What provides waste? Do towns provide waste? I don't know. Where does the waste come from? Because we have a landfill up there. It's kind of interesting. It's one of the new industries with the mod set that we're using here. No clue. No clue whatsoever. Steel's going to be in high demand. We got some stone for construction materials. Over here. And... oh, ooh, this is waste. It's a power plant. Takes a lot of fuel or a bit of coal, and it produces a lot of waste. It's kind of interesting. So we just have a landfill. I'd rather ship something else that is useful, and taking a look around, we technically have... oh, come on. We have 1 commercial item settled, so I wouldn't mind getting 1 factory item. So that's either going to be some fuel, some machines, or construction material. Construction material over here via boat could be good. We could send it, in theory, to both docks. And this one could service Hertford and Philly. Market can just surface straight off the production line. And then this one can do... this one's farther away. Oof. No clue how I'm gonna swing that. A lot of logistical things to think about here this episode, because we're getting more complicated, more industries, and just more of everything right now. Let's just real quick see if the farm has increased production. Not really. No, not at all. How about the food? Food production has increased. So that's good. The trucks are a little bit slow at getting going here, though. I wonder if these ones just happen to take longer to load. And only some of them are loading. Ooh. So hopefully, once this production kind of kicks up and we get a surplus here, it'll start splitting it up between the two sides. Yes, it is now. So that's good. Okay. Tell you what, let's go ahead. We're 20 minutes in this episode. Do a little bit of a speed build where we set up the new line. And I think the line that I'm going to go for are these machine factory. Just simply using the logs here. And what we'll probably do is do this all by truck. So we'll get trucks carrying logs to the lumber mill, and then lumber mill down to the factory, and then from the factory straight on over into Reigate. And then from Reigate, we'll probably divide them up between Hertford and Shildon. So here we go. All right, here we are at the machine factory after finishing hooking this all up and getting it functional. It actually looks pretty good. Adding all these trees to me is just adding so much more detail to this game that it really needs it. I can only look at so much grass, but even now the trees are slowly starting to become a little repetitive. However, that is beyond the point. Let's talk about trains and cars and wagons and roads. So we built this little highway system connecting Shildon over to Reigate. And in the middle here, this is the machine factory. It's a little sparse on woodland, kind of closer to the factory, which is kind of on purpose. To the left and the right of the highway, though, there is a dense wall of green. If you guys have ever, just paid attention while going down the interstate, kind of just through the countryside, so many trees. It's just a wall of green to your left and the right, and that's what I'm trying to capture here. Even a little bit with the train tracks along the river, right? So these trains have a good view downwards, and then as it gets closer, of course, to these switches, we switch to a different track, but also to different shrubberies that are a little bit lower so the conductors can see farther, and hopefully keeps this whole area looking safe. But this huge section of forest is brand new, and I think adds a great element of detail. In fact, let's hop a ride on a train real quick. I'm going to speak up a little bit as it cruises through these woods. And yeah, we have the lumber mill and sawmill, which still needs forest and stuff, so I'm not really going to show that here at the end of this episode. We're just going to take the ride on this train. If you guys are, of course, enjoying the new Transport Fever kind of detailing series with wonderful sweeping forests and vistas, with awesome sights, you know, especially when you come up to Reigate here in the main terminal. It's just a beautiful sight to see, with the town growing exponentially at this rate. Do leave a like, leave a comment down below on maybe what other industries you'd like us to see shipped in the future. We have bread and tools at this point, and I think that's going pretty well for us. Hello, other passengers. Over here, you can see off to the right, I'll just pop out real quick. The town is getting much, much larger now. With that, we've come to the end of this episode. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good weekend.